Hi guys, I'm Audrey and welcome to my July wrap-up video. I am so sorry for having been absent for 2 weeks. It's just in the first week of August, I helped a friend of mine moving from Hamburg to London. We drove with my car and it actually ended up in being a complete disaster. And yeah, so I didn't have any time or energy in that whole week to do a video and edit it and everything. So I thought I would do it last week, but last week has been crazy with work and also no time and energy to do more. And well, the next 2 weeks I'm gone on vacation, so probably won't upload any videos then there as well. I'll just upload one today and one on Wednesday, and then when I have time to upload another one again. I am so sorry, but I'll do my best, and in September I'll be back full on with with a video every week. I promise that. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to talk about all the books that I read in July. So have fun. The first book that I read in July was Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the third book of the Raven Cycle series, and I read it together with Tumblr user Paper Tea and Book Flowers, kind of like a buddy read. As you can see, I marked like every chapter with a green tape, and then we divided it like by how many chapters, like around 50 pages for every day. And so we ended up with like reading this 8 days, as you can see in my post-its. Yeah, well, I tried to do that, but beginning of July in itself was a really stressful month for me. A lot of things happened, and I think I still am in a reading slump after A Court of Mist and Fury that's been lasting since May. So it took me a long time to finish this book, not because it's bad in any way, it's really, really good. It's just that so much has been going on that I didn't find the time to probably read like a lot, just a couple of pages for a day, or a couple of days with no reading because I just couldn't get into it. But at least I finished the book, and I think the last 100 pages like went in a flow. I don't want to get any spoilery because this is like the third book of the series so far, but what I can say is that I absolutely loved it. I really like the Raven Cycle series. It's been written in such a different way. I can't fully describe it. It's just nothing like any other YA book I read before. So that's really exciting. And yeah, I mean, it's about 4 teenage boys and a girl who try to find a Welsh king who is like dead for hundreds of years, but also may be alive. We actually don't know. It's the big quest of the whole series. I don't want to spoiler it for anyone. I can totally recommend the series because it's different and that makes it exciting, at least for me. I think the characters are great. They're like my little children. The characters are really well written. The character development that you like see through every book, from the first to the third book, is just so amazing. I am totally afraid to read The Raven King because I am not ready to let my children go and leave them. So it will take me some more courage and more time to finally read the last book of the series and see how everything ends out. I am emotionally not ready for that. This book, full 5 stars from me. Okay, so the next book that I read it in one go. It's because it's really short. Um, and it's German. So yeah, the next book that I read was Johannes Erzählung from Heinz Körner. My stepfather gave me this book. Yeah, I'm just in this place in life right now that everyone talks about some time. He read this book a couple of years ago when he went through his divorce, and he found that it really spoke to him. And so he got me this book, so like for me to read it and maybe for me to help it, like to help me as well. It's quite short, just 100 pages. It's basically about this one man who wakes up one morning and he just even though it's like every other day, he realizes that he is not himself, that he finally actually lives, or he realizes that he's living. And so instead of going on with his routine, going to work and everything, he just like says, okay, I'm taking a walk, I'm not going to work today. And yeah, so he just takes a walk and it leads him to a bench, and there's an old man sitting there, and he has this weird feeling like it was supposed to be that way, that he has to meet that man, and they engage in a conversation, and the man asks him a lot of things about himself, and so the man starts to realize a lot of things about himself, or questions himself, or sees himself correctly for the first time. And yeah, so a lot of things about society, about how we feel, how we have the feeling we are supposed to feel that way, or we feel like we have to act certain ways in society with people we call friends, or friends in general, or family, or anything in life. And it's just yeah, so it's been written in a way that it doesn't really just address the man that is going through the story, but more the reader. And yeah, so it just of that. So this book is just supposed to be like this huge eye opener. And the end, like this book is divided in like 4 chapters, and the last one is from the author, which when he says like about the whole book. And yeah, and in the end he was like, oh, this is like the huge revelation you have about yourself, and now you will think, because you read that book, things you have never thought of before. And honestly, the things that happen addressed in here, this is like a lot of things that not only I question myself, but what I also see on Tumblr, people questioning, people talking about the whole thing about identity, about oneself, about society. All these things that have been addressed in here are things that our generation actually thinks of quite often, and they come to the same conclusion to, be yourself and do what's right for you, and not to feel pressured by other people or society. Or at least that's the thinking that we're slowly getting into, and that we try to put out in the world. I mean, I can only speak for that, what I feel like and what I saw on Tumblr. Yeah, I think it's really great to address things like that and everything, but just at the end, how he talked about this book, how he praised himself, it's just, maybe it's because I am in another generation than the author who wrote this, and at that time it applied that people didn't think about that. I mean, my stepfather thought that it was like an eye-opener for him, but for me it wasn't. And in a way, and sometimes it was addressed in a book, and in the end talked about in a book, it just made me personally feel like, as a reader, yeah, as if I'm, you know, not on the same level as the author. And yeah, so that made me give the book 2 stars. On Goodreads, I saw a lot of other people rating this book with 5 stars. Like my stepfather said, for some people it has been a huge eye-opener, and that is great. It was just, I just didn't see it that way as, yeah. Next book that I finally read was Leave Me by Gail Forman. This book is not out so far. It will hit the shelves on September 13th. And in case you're wondering why I already have a paperback copy of this wonderful book, it's because back in January I won a giveaway by Gail Forman and got this advanced reader's copy of her new novel, Leave Me. I got it in February, and I was not ready to read it. I wasn't. I was just so excited to get it, but I was not ready to read it. And I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I was really afraid to start reading it and whatever. So I thought, okay, it's July. You got that book for such a long time. You have to read it. And oh my god, this book is totally amazing. Leave Me is the first adult oriented book that Gail Forman wrote. So this book is about Maribeth Klein, and she was so busy with taking care of her children and her husband and work that she didn't realize that she had a heart attack. And so when she finally found out that she had a heart attack and was in a hospital, she felt like things have to change. So she goes back home, and nothing changed. She still had to take care of the children and her husband wasn't really helping, and work was also a bit rocky. And yeah, so totally overwhelmed with everything, she just decides to pack her bags and leave. And yeah, so she goes on a quest, dare I say, to find her birth mother because she is adopted. And she's just so afraid that her children could also get could also easily get a heart attack because she doesn't know about her the medical side of her family, because she is adopted. As I said, she doesn't know about her birth mother or birth father or the whole biological family. And so she to get some closure, she tries to find her mother. I am not a mother. I don't have children. I'm not married. I don't have a job that takes a lot of me. Reading this book, I just felt so much for her. I mean, even though I'm not in the same situation, I think that a lot of women will identify themselves with Maribeth and how they struggle to balance everything: work, love, children, just everything, and how they feel like they're not appreciated enough, that they think they fail, that they think that just everything is shit, everything they do is not working out, and they just don't want it anymore. They just think about what would happen if I just don't go home now, or if I just take off and leave. And so while I read it, I deeply felt for Maribeth, and her journey truly was so beautiful. This whole book was just very beautiful about how she also finally came like, yeah, how she also realized things about herself, about relationships and everything, and just her whole journey. It was such a beautiful story to read. It was actually so beautiful that as soon as I finished the book, I read the last words, I closed the book, I stared out of my window, and I just like a couple of tears were just rolling down because I thought it was just a really beautiful story to read. It was so nice being on this journey, and honestly, guys, this is such a good book. I completely recommend this book. You don't have to be a mother in her 40s to connect to the character, or to feel to the feel with the character, or just enjoy the story. Just, it's like with YA, you can enjoy it with any age. Seriously, if you love Gail Forman, if you love her writing, that's beautiful, read this book. It's good. It's really good. But this is it. Those are the 3 books that I read in July. I know it's not much, but considering the reading slump that I am in, I was in, I don't know how long I will still be in. It was quite a lot. Have you read any of those books, or are you now planning on reading one of those books? Or what did you read in July? You know, just comment below and let's talk about all books and everything. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, I wish you a great day, night, morning, noon, or whatever time is it in your time zone when you're currently watching this video. So yeah.